Hey everybody, this is Walt.
This is Max.
And you are listening to our podcast, The ABCs of Rock and Metal.
AKA Anti-Seminal. We are, as always, USS Info Inc. And we are transitioning into the E's today. So we are doing who, Walt?
Elf.
Who the hell is Elf, Walt? Because our listeners want to know.
Elf is Ronnie James Dio's first rock band.
Okay, I think we're going to need to go deep into the history of Elf.
Oh, yeah.
I think a lot of people are not going to know. So
I mean, I kind of forgot about him, too, to be honest with you.
Yeah. So his first band, they started around when?
Well, Ronnie started in the 50s.
Yeah.
But this was a band that he got some acclaim with that started in 1968, I believe.
Yeah, I've got 67.
67?
But they didn't release an album until 72.
Until
right?
72.
Yeah, okay.
The first Elf album.
Yeah. They had 3 albums.
Yeah.
I believe, right?
Only 3.
Okay.
They had Elf. Oh, my God. What was the name of the second one?
Something, it's got a weird name.
Oh,
right?
Right.
We should know this. We're like Elf experts now.
All right, so you have the self-titled Elf album. The second album was the Carolina County Ball.
That's the title.
And the third album is Trying to Burn the Sun.
Trying to Burn the Sun.
Which
That's
we
what
are
we're
reviewing today.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Because basically they are all anti-Seminole, let's face it.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of information to be found.
Yeah,
about Elf. I mean, you heard Ronnie talk about it when he was alive. Here and there. Not as much. He just basically said that this was my first band, and it got me some attention. Beyond that, you're hard-pressed to find anything.
Yeah.
Online or even record stores. A used record store might have maybe 1 or 2 of them.
Sure.
Maybe.
Yeah.
If you're lucky.
Yeah.
Or if you go on, I don't know, Craigslist or something, or eBay, you might be able to buy an LP. And what I also read was that this record, Trying to Burn the Sun, is only available as an import.
Yeah.
Which is funny, because it was on Deep Purple's record label.
It's not even on Spotify.
Wow.
Yeah, the first 2 are. This one is not.
We got lucky to find it on YouTube.
Exactly.
So whoever put this up, thank you very much.
Yeah. So I think we got to explain a little bit about the connection between Elf and Deep Purple, since you mentioned it.
Right.
And of course, Rainbow, right?
Absolutely.
How did that all work out?
Well, Elf were out and about doing their thing, and Glover, who was producing for Deep Purple and was in Deep Purple, found them and culled them over after their first album to record their next 2 records on Deep Purple's record label, which was, what was the name of their record label again? Something like Purple,
remember.
something
Purple
Records.
Purple in it.
Purple
Yeah.
Records.
Okay.
And Richie Blackmore had recorded an album with Deep Purple before that, and he wasn't happy with it because they were kind of turning into funk almost.
Yeah, he didn't like the direction.
He didn't like it at all.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was Roger Glover in the beginning that discovered them, so to speak. And Blackmore kind of cleaned house with Deep Purple. And basically after this record, because at the time when this record came out, they were breaking up already, Elf.
Now, at some point, they were opening for Deep Purple, right?
I believe so.
When was that going on? I mean, is that how Richie Blackmore found out about them, or?
It might have been through Glover.
Okay.
It might have been through Glover.
So was that the first connection? Then they got them on board to open for them, or
then
something?
I think
maybe?
Blackmore saw them. He wanted to start his solo project.
Yeah.
Which was Rainbow.
Yeah.
And so basically he got everybody from Elf besides the guitar player.
And besides Mark Nassif, I believe, right?
I think you're right.
Who did some percussion on this one. The main drummer was Gary Driscoll.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, but it's pretty much Elf minus lead guitarist, because Dio.
Yeah.
And we got Mickey Lee Soul on keyboards, rhythm, Craig Gruber bass guitar, and Gary Driscoll drums, and that is the first Rainbow album.
Yeah.
Right.
Pretty much. Yes.
But then of course he fired everybody by the second album,
yeah.
except for Dio.
He kept Dio, and that was it.
Yeah.
Once again, cleaned house.
Yeah. So they were short-lived.
Very much.
Very
yeah,
short-lived.
Very much
yeah.
so. Very much so.
Okay. So should we get into it?
Yep.
All right. First up, this is Black Swampy Water.
Not what you'd expect, right?
What are you hearing? Well, okay. What would you expect?
Well, I mean, if you're familiar with Dio's later catalog,
Yeah.
you wouldn't expect this kind of boogie-woogie piano in the very opening of the record. You really wouldn't.
If you were, so let's say you really liked the first Rainbow album, would you expect this?
No, not even.
Not even.
No,
yeah.
not even.
No. This is a different thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost, a lot of this is very almost New Orleans boogie-woogie, old school kind of Creole-ish at points, Southern rock even.
I mean, the guitar has a hard edge to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
And his lyrics, or his vocal stylings, how would you describe that in this one?
Oh, they're great. I mean, it's still Ronnie.
I mean, Dio is still Dio.
It's still Ronnie. It's still Dio. Mm-hmm. I mean, you know right away. Even if you played this blind for someone,
yeah,
you know, if you're a fan of Dio, you go,
yeah,
it's Dio.
Yeah,
it's Ronnie.
You're like, is that some like rainbow like B-side or something that I haven't heard or what? You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or is it? Did Ronnie work with Meatloaf at one point? Because if he did, I missed that.
Which sounds awesome, quite honestly.
But it's very boogie woogie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got some groove to it.
It does.
You know.
No, it does groove. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Dio always had groove to whatever he was doing. He did. Even when it was considered metal.
Yeah.
You know? Because there were points where I saw Dio as not so much metal.
Okay.
And more hard rock.
Okay.
But then, of course, he always went back to being metal. He kind of walked that line for me, Ronnie. He always walked that line.
Yeah.
And seeing his origins with this, you know, and doing what was popular at the time.
Yeah.
You know, it's a whole different thing. And an evolution when you look at the entire catalog.
Yeah.
Especially just hearing this one track. Right out the box.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild. And a title like Trying to Burn the Sun, you would think it was super metal.
That sounds metal.
Right?
Yeah.
You would think it would be super metal.
But in 1975, what was really metal? You know, this is early on. I mean, okay, so what was Black Sabbath
doing? And Zeppelin.
But it's not really the metal that a lot of people who later got in metal would recognize as metal as such. Right?
True.
Yeah.
But this does kind of
it's transitioning.
Yeah.
And like we've talked about with a lot of with like Zeppelin and Black Sabbath's early stuff, even early stuff by Judas Priest, you feel them like in the hard blues and approaching something new.
Right.
Which would later end up being called metal.
Yeah.
Yeah. It feels transitional.
All steeped in the blues, number one.
Exactly. Yeah.
Especially when these guys started out.
It's like metal was the way for these bands to try to re-understand and reinterpret the blues.
True.
Into something new.
True.
You know, and then finally it just became this new thing.
Right.
Yeah.
It's funny, though, these guys, especially Ronnie, talking about black swampy water when he's from New York.
Yeah, of course.
We discovered he's from New York.
Yeah, it's like CCR was from California. And
right.
Like Louisiana swamps and shit.
Right, exactly. But yeah, it's like I said, very New Orleans-ish to me.
Very much.
Almost gospel at points.
And next up we have Prentice Wood. What does that even mean?
I don't know. There's a joke in there somewhere.
Yeah, but I have to think too hard to get there.
Let me get my dictionary.
Excuse me.
Oh, that was a cheap pun.
Yes. Well, let's go cheap on this podcast. You don't got to pay a lot to be on this podcast. We always go cheap. We work cheap. We play cheap. What do you think about this?
Once again, unexpected. Like I said, I heard this stuff when I was younger.
Yeah.
And it was always at a friend's house or one of my cousins would play it.
Yeah.
When I was younger. And kind of forgot a lot about it.
Interesting.
So when you listen to it now, me owning Dio's discography.
Yeah.
It's so left. It feels left field, but this is where he started.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like him.
Yeah.
Besides the fact that you know his voice.
Yeah.
I mean, once again, this sounds very gospel-y. And
his vocals on this remind me of a lot of glam rock of the time. Like almost like T-Rex.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like just the delivery.
It's Rocky Horror Picture Show-ish.
Yeah.
You know, later on.
Kind of in that vein.
That kind of rock and roll style.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Very, very early 70s sounding.
Yeah. It's of its time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there were so many other bands that were doing this style, too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether they were from the South or not.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
With Elf. It's amazing to me. But, you know, once again, I mean, how old was he in the band at this point? I mean, they were young.
Good question.
I mean, he started out in the 50s.
Yeah.
So
when
we're
was
talking
he
about
born?
70s.
Do we know?
I have no idea, to be honest.
You keep talking, I'll do the look up here.
La la la. Fill space.
Say something meaningful, I would hope.
La 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 is kind of meaningful. You know, if it's in key.
Ronnie James Dio.
Was born, looking at
1942.
Wow.
So at this point, can Can you do math? I can't do
No,
math.
I can't do math. So,
So-
70s. So he must have been in his early 30s, late 20s.
So he was 33.
33.
The
33 years
age of
old.
Jesus when he died. So, wow. Okay.
Wow. Damn.
Yeah. That's, wow, he went for a while then.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was in the game for a bit.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
finally hit. And that's why he was always appreciative when you
Yeah,
see him
yeah.
in interviews.
So I love this pastoral section, like the quiet keyboard. You know, like some of the Zeppelin stuff.
Oh, yeah.
At that time.
Right.
Yeah.
Little sitar in the background.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
And
it is of that moment.
Bongos, organs.
Yeah.
Everything in the kitchen sink.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you were saying something, though.
What the fuck was I saying?
Oh, who the hell knows? Yeah. Time to move on?
Yeah.
Okay.
But listen to that.
Yeah. Kind of like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still talking about magic and stuff.
Of course.
Ronnie's always got to kick in the magic. And elves and shit.
And this is When She Smiles. Wasn't there a song on the other album called, like, When a Woman Cries? Or
Yeah,
something?
yeah.
Yeah. So this is the flip side of the coin, right?
Yeah. I kept confusing this track for when she, same thing, when she cries. Or,
Yeah.
because it's so out of context, or out of character, I should say, for
Yeah.
Dio.
Yeah.
When a woman cries is the other one, right?
Yeah.
So, when she smiles. Because he was a happier guy back then, it seems.
Yeah, he was, younger,
Yeah,
you know.
it's a happier dude.
Back then we had more optimism for the world.
And then Richie Blackmore came along and dashed all his hopes.
Got this bouncy keyboard thing going on.
Yeah. Almost Queen, like the keyboards for me. And the vocal
Yeah.
delivery.
Interesting.
It reminds
yeah,
me
no, you're right.
A little bit of Freddie.
There's like some kind of doo-wop stuff going on in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, once again, his influences, I guess, from 50s rock,
Yeah, he was bringing that in.
and early 60s rock.
And I think
It sounds like like I said, like bar band-ish. Right
yeah,
there.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
You know what I mean? Smoky bar room
yeah,
kind of blues,
yeah. And at some point, there's a full orchestral backing, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So this goes pretty big.
Yeah, and they had background singers. And
Yeah.
They had a lot going on these
There's
albums.
a lot of production going on here.
Yeah.
Anything where you got in this one?
No, just that it's pretty neat. It's pretty cool.
Kind of nice. Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And like I said, it just brings you back to like old-timey... I shouldn't say that.
Oldie timey.
Back when I was sitting in a bar in 1922, waiting for a phone call on a payphone.
I was in a bar in the 20s with the lads, with the fellas.
We were rip-roaring it up.
It was a swinging 20s. There was flappers and all
God.
them.
Let's stop.
Yeah, I
Let's
know.
stop.
Next song.
If you give it a shot, you
Yeah.
might be surprised,
Yeah.
that you might get into it. It took me a couple of listens,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Yeah.
But if you give it a few listens, you'll be surprised how you might get into it.
Yeah.
Just because of all the influences that this record has going on.
Yeah. And this is Good Time Music. Again, that kind of keyboard thing going on. You know, this one kind of sounds
Jazzy,
like
bluesy piano.
this one sounds like a Queen song to me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I see
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Almost even a little Leonard Skinner-ish. You know,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
the way the piano sounds. The clean notes. Yeah, Queen
Yeah.
too. Absolutely.
Yeah, like especially here.
Right there, yeah.
Yeah. I think it's kind of
It's a-
honky tonk at some point.
It's a lament, yeah, a little honky tonk. Yeah, I'll go with that. It's kind of, like I said, I wonder if certain other acts were influenced by each other at the time.
Oh yeah.
I keep hearing a little Rod Stewart. Also,
yeah.
early Rod
no,
Stewart.
I hear that. Yeah.
You know, like especially here
Yep. Yeah.
with his really early work. It's real boogie woogie. It's
It is.
It's boogie
Yeah.
rock.
Yeah.
You know, it's a little hippy dippy at points. A little.
Yeah, he gets there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, damn! You don't want to be there if you're a straight dude. See, because that sounds like a Rod Stewart line to me.
It does.
And all the women look like men.
Yeah.
You know, even a little Bowie-ish.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah. very much of the moment.
So we're hanging out in the piano bar now.
This is the honky-tonk part, too.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got that kind of melodic sensibility to me.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, good time music.
Right.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Vaudevillian almost.
Yeah.
And then you get the crispy guitar.
Yeah.
The crispy guitar.
So what do you think of Steve Edwards as a guitarist?
I think he's great. I think he's
good,
I think
right?
he's really good. Yeah, of course.
What did he go on to do? Do we know?
Oh, I should have looked that up, but no,
Yeah,
I can't.
I
can't really remember.
Yeah.
I can't really remember right now.
Maybe you just want to do session stuff.
Could be.
It's not a name that I've heard a lot.
No, same here. Same
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
So I have no idea really.
Yeah.
But yeah, for next time, or somebody tell us, please.
Somebody tell us.
Yeah, somebody
tell
look it
us.
up
You know
for
more
us.
than we do, so we look it up. Yeah.
We did enough to put this thing together.
Yeah. Come on.
Help us
out.
Help.
Next up. And this is Liberty Road. And I'm still feeling like we're in that kind of honky-tonk juke joint place where we're hanging out for good time music, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
This record kind of feels like you were sitting in a place like that and listening to the band's entire set.
Yeah, yeah.
It's kind of what this record feels like.
Yeah.
Like you're seeing them, like you said, in a smoky joint somewhere,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, you, as a vocalist, you have a strong affinity for Dio as a vocalist throughout
Yes,
his
I do.
entire career. Talk about where you hear his voice at this point in comparison to his later work.
You're really hard-pressed to tell a difference.
Right? Yeah.
He's as good as he started out to where he ended up.
Yeah.
He's great here.
Like, do you hear noticeable differences in the quality and the tone?
No.
Right?
No.
Yeah, yeah. He's so consistent.
He
It's pretty
always
incredible.
sounded great. And I think we talked about that when we reviewed Dio's Dream Evil.
Yeah.
That Iommi said he never saw him have an off day
Yeah, wow.
when he was performing. Never saw that.
Yeah.
Either in rehearsal or performing.
Yeah.
The guy just had it in him.
Yeah.
He was just naturally talented. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if he took vocal lessons or anything like this. I mean, I've seen interviews with him, but I don't remember him even talking about anything like that.
Yeah.
The guy was just born super fucking human with the shit.
Yeah.
And just had it his entire life.
Yeah. It's incredible. Yeah, yeah.
Because, like I said, blind, you play this for somebody that's never heard it, and
Yeah.
they know Dio. They're going to go, that's Dio, duh.
Yeah, that is totally Dio.
Because he sounds pretty much
Yeah.
the same.
They might not be able to, yeah, and they can't place it in
Yeah.
the chronology. That's the thing.
Right,
They're
right.
like, well, what's he doing here? Was this like a blues side project, or what was
Yeah,
this?
exactly,
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Is this a soundtrack for something? What is this, the Vanishing Point soundtrack? Because there are points where some of the songs remind me of that.
Yeah.
Like, remember that scene in the desert
Yeah, yeah.
with the gospel band?
Yeah.
There are points where I'm like, shit, it reminds me of that kind of 70s rock. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
That, like I said, my cousins and friends of mine were into.
Yeah.
I mean, Mountain was a little bit heavier than Elf. But they still kind of delved into these moments of boogie woogie and what have you,
Yeah, yeah.
and Spirit and other bands of the time.
Yeah.
But they were full on with it.
Yeah.
For all three of their records, the only three that they had, this was their sound.
Yeah.
And I think so many other bands, bluesy bands later, like maybe Black Crowes and stuff, were a little influenced by
Yeah.
Elf.
I definitely hear that.
You know?
Yeah. All right, next up. So this one is called Shotgun Boogie.
I love the title.
This one's so boogie woogie, it's got boogie in the title.
Yeah.
Like that's
As if you didn't know already.
yeah. I mean, what's going on here, Walt?
Like I said, it really reminds me, I hate to repeat myself,
Yeah.
New Orleans kind of rock boogie, King Creole kind of stuff. Listen to
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, it's
Almost swing.
it is almost, it's a lot like swing. Yeah.
I'm already doing it.
Yeah, like what?
I just started doing swing dancing as we were talking about.
Yeah. Hands come alive
Yeah.
from side to side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's old school kind of getting the crowd riled up,
Yeah.
boogie rock.
Yeah. Like full on. Yeah, listen to this.
Yeah.
This is it you could hear this on like a scratchy like old recording, you know, like yeah. Big old like wax, like turntable or something with one of those big horns that dog listening to. Yeah,
you're in the French Quarter.
It's
you know?
interesting. Yeah,
it's that type of rock.
And that keyboard going on. That's
And everybody gets their moment to shine in the band.
Yeah, very much like a jazz kind of combo thing.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah. What else you got in this one?
Like I said, it's a little stunning.
It is, right?
It's a little stunning. And I'll admit...
I mean, this guitar work, this is a little more familiar.
Yeah, this brings it right back up to rock.
Yeah.
Straight up rock.
Yeah.
Like you said, he's got these tasty licks.
Yeah.
And he's got this great sound to his guitar that kind of sizzles right through everything.
There's a joke in a couple of things you just said, but I'll leave that be.
Sizzle right through?
Tasty licks.
Tasty licking. Linger ficking good.
Oh, ouch. Okay. Next song.
Cowbell
solo. Yes, all right.
Come on, that's awesome. Come on, you ever wanted to do a cowbell solo in your life?
Well, of course. And this is Wonderworld, not to be confused with the Oasis tune Wonderwall, of course. Now, this one, it sounds a lot more like the Dio I know than any other song on this album. I
agree.
Like. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Like, it kind of reminds me on a song I don't like on Dream Evil called I Could Have Been a Dreamer, but I like this one.
Yeah.
I don't.
What's the reasoning for that? What do you think?
I think it's a
what
better
do you think
song.
That is? Yeah.
Quite
Okay.
honestly, yeah.
Well,
what do you think about it?
I could have been, like we talked about, I could have been a dreamer, just smelled of single. Like they really wanted to craft a ballady single.
Yeah, yeah.
This is coming from a whole different place. He's younger,
Yeah.
hungrier.
Yeah,
The musicianship is really good on this.
It is. It's very solid.
On all parts.
Yeah. And his vocals, like he's really feeling it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like he's kind of quiet and he
The big
builds,
crescendo,
and
yeah.
There's a lot going on here.
Yeah. No, it's a good crafted song.
Yeah.
It is. It's well built, so to say.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
It's like you're seeing the glimmers of what he's going to become.
Oh yeah.
Where he's going to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's got this sheen on it, you know, as a track.
Yeah.
It seems very pretty sounding to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
His later stuff, besides the bigger singles like we just mentioned, they had a grittiness to them.
Yeah.
Even when he was with Rainbow, some of the songs had a grittiness to them.
Now here's a question: is he writing these songs with Elf? For
Yeah.
Elf?
Him and the keyboard player wrote the songs
okay.
on this record and the record previous.
Okay.
On the original record, I'm not sure. I think that was a band effort.
Okay.
On the original record, I think it was band effort. But the last two, this record and the one previous, him and the keyboard player, they wrote the songs together.
Okay.
It's pretty much them.
Okay.
So.
Whereas with Rainbow, it's going to be a lot of Ritchie Blackmore, and is he pretty much writing?
Oh yeah, well, Ronnie did get to write.
He did.
He did. Of course, his lyrics are pretty much his.
Okay.
Ronnie always wrote his pretty much his own.
In
lyrics.
terms like the melodies and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. Okay.
Nobody ever really fucked with Ronnie when it came to his melodies and stuff because he always had it.
Yeah.
He always knew what to do.
Yeah.
He always knew where to go, where to be.
Okay.
So and that's why Blackmore had him on too.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why the guys in Sabbath had him.
Yeah.
You know, because they said we don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
You know, same thing with Ritchie and the guys in Sabbath. They have said the same thing. You know, he just comes in, he's ready. He's got everything worked out.
Like I could hear this in 80s feel.
Oh yeah.
Pretty much easily. You know, like maybe some changes in arrangement, but this feels very much of like the later Dio.
Right.
Yeah.
And I wonder, I'd have to go through my old concert videos.
Yeah.
But this almost seems like I've heard him perform this live at one point or another with his band, with Dio.
Which I can see that happening. Yeah.
I mean, we know he always did Man on the Silver Mountain.
Of course.
And other Deep Purple songs.
Of course.
But this seems like I got to go through my old DVDs because I have a bunch of them.
Yeah.
And right there, look.
I know, it's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's a different Dio. He's younger here.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But still had the same performance ability.
Yep.
Period.
Yeah.
And everything that he did across the board. And that's why for me, he's one of my all-time favorite singers. Period. No matter what he's done.
Absolutely.
Like I said, for me, the music's a little funky here and there.
Yeah.
You know, you have moments of, okay, that went into wild ass. That's very dated.
Yeah.
That's wild ass 70s period sounding.
Yeah.
But ultimately, for me, what holds it all together is the musicianship.
Yep.
Because regardless of the time, they're all solid.
Exactly. Yeah.
And Ronnie's voice is pristine
Yeah.
in my mind. So
Okay. All right. Last track, right?
big crescendo out.
Yeah.
You know,
Nice.
every band was trying to do in the 70s, even bands that weren't as big.
Yep.
You know,
All right. Last track on the album. This is Street Walker.
what do you think that's about?
Oh, I don't know. Like, who works on the street like that? Like, I don't know, someone selling chestnuts or something, or like a beat cop, or I don't know who works on the street.
Like a guy that works on the pavement or something?
Yeah, maybe something like that. Yeah. So that's a bluesy opening.
Oh, very bluesy.
This kind of, to me, this is the bluesiest song on the album.
It is.
I mean, it's got the 12-bar blues feel.
It is. It
Yeah.
very much does have it.
Yeah.
Like I said, once again, you could see him in a smoky room,
Yeah.
standing in front of a microphone, crooning his ass off on this.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
See?
just...
Or sitting behind a piano, if he was playing the piano. You know, singing the blues.
Yeah. But then the rhythm kind of starts in at some point,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is back when, in the 70s, people had a lot more patience when it came to music and songs. You know, present company excluded, and other friends that we know, we have patience when it comes to listening to music.
Yeah.
A song like this, if it's played nowadays and they go, oh shit, it's 7 minutes long? No, I'm not playing that.
Yeah.
They won't listen to the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know? There was a point there in the 80s where, I mean, it started in the 50s where pop tunes had to be like 3 minutes and a half long, and that was it.
Yeah, because they had to fit on that little...
Right.
That record.
On that little black disc.
Exactly. Yeah,
that
yeah.
little wax disc.
Yeah.
But it started moving around in the 60s and then in the 70s where songs
Yeah.
became longer and longer,
Yeah.
which was great. It kind of got crimped again in the 80s with certain bands,
Yeah.
pop bands. It
Yeah.
started doing that again.
I mean, I think historically the perfect length for a true pop song is about 3 minutes. But not everything needs to be a pop song,
Right.
you know?
Right.
It's like some things are right for that, but sometimes you just want to listen to something like this.
Well, I mean, when it comes
Stretch out.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, when it comes to the artist, if they lay down a 7-minute song, if they're good musicians, there's a reason for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's the length the song was meant to be.
Right, yeah.
And these guys are really giving it to you.
Yeah, Yeah,
See?
yeah.
Acapella with drums.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but he still had to sing. Even when he was younger, still doing those same things that he kept doing throughout his entire career.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep, that's Dio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, Blackmore was so impressed with his voice. Mm-hmm. You know,
Yeah.
same thing with the producer. Mm-hmm. Could you imagine being in a band with him around that time?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I was playing in the band, playing bass or whatever the hell,
I can't
be
even
like,
imagine
he's
doing
gonna
that.
leave. He's gonna go
Yeah.
off and be big.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Hopefully he'll take me with him. You know?
Yeah.
Of course not. After a while, because these guys, I mean, you know, they had different things going on and problems and what have you.
Yeah.
Drug-wise and drink-wise and
Yeah.
all that shit, especially around that time.
Yeah.
But Elf was struggling, like we've read. They were
Yeah.
struggling. I mean, they had moderate success overseas in maybe Europe and Japan, I think,
Oh, okay.
around that time, and that was it. The UK didn't see them. The US didn't really see them at all.
Huh, interesting. Okay.
So it wasn't until, like you said, when I think they started opening for Purple
Yeah.
on certain dates that they got a little bit more attention. But the
Okay.
funny thing about this album came out, I think, June of 75,
Okay. Yeah,
right?
yeah,
June of
yeah.
75.
Yeah.
And then literally 2 months later in August, the Rainbow album
That's
came
right,
out.
yeah.
So this is why this record doesn't get as much
It
love.
was like an afterthought.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
It was overshadowed by
Yeah,
the Rainbow album.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny. And like I said, you know, I haven't heard this stuff in so long. It's cool to revisit it,
Yeah.
you know?
All right, so let's talk about the cover.
Yeah, let's do that.
Well, let's talk about the Elf covers.
Period. Okay.
Beginning with the first one.
Yeah. Which is just a close-up of basically this grotesque-looking elf, or this guy in makeup to look like an elf.
So to me, that original cover was like, okay, so let's have an album cover, and we're gonna have an elf on it. Okay, but no, we want something badass. But dudes, we called our band Elf. So how do we have something bad? Well, make a badass elf.
Right.
Like give your elf like biceps and scary teeth and shit like that. Right.
Right.
That's essentially what it is.
Yeah.
It's like this elf like sneering at the viewer, like this elf's gonna take you out, but no, it's still an elf.
I don't know. I mean, when it came to D&D, weren't elves supposed to be, I don't know, like super strong or something like that? I don't know. I'm reaching.
You haven't read Tolkien, have you?
Yeah, I have. Okay, yeah.
Remember the elves? They were like all sort of soft and
they're all
willowy and
right, right.
they were
they're
just
tall
like
and beautiful,
ethereal
right.
Kate Blanchett in the movie and
Right,
all
that's
that.
right.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, that's an elf.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just don't think that they evoke something like badass and scary and that kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But,
there.
Yeah.
Okay,
Like,
I just got it.
Like,
I just got it
at
up on
Yeah.
screen.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
the
and it's
prominent
bad
biceps
makeup
and
yeah. They had to include something. Like I said, I was over at a friend of mine's at our friend Sammy's house,
Sammy.
and he had the album out, and I was like, God damn, that is a fucking terrible album cover.
Yeah.
You know.
The second one though.
It's just them standing on
It's just
on a balcony.
Carolina County Ball.
Yeah, the Carolina County Ball.
I would not actually want to pick up any album called Carolina County Ball.
Right.
It's just me.
Right.
It's just me. I mean, maybe by a country band
Right.
that I was into, I might want to pick that up.
Right.
But if I'm looking for like rock and roll, that's probably not the album that I'm going to pick up.
Unless maybe, like you said, if it was Skinnerd or later on Black Crowes.
Yeah, like
something
kind of
like
like
that,
country
maybe.
rock,
Right.
Maybe
That are from these guys are from the
Drive-by
South.
truckers. I might pick up that album, but
Right.
not. Yeah,
Right. No. I think the only title that they have going for them is Trying to Burn the Sun.
yeah. Let's talk about that album cover.
That's it's out of the
What
three.
do you think of it?
It's the best one.
It's good. I
is
like
the best
it.
one.
I think it's.
And once
It's
again,
really it's really simple.
Yeah.
You've got like the image of the sun, and you've got this really kind of cool silhouette where he's just picking up the mic. He's just like wielding it.
Yeah.
Like a freaking saber. Yeah. He's just
like he's gonna smash somebody with it.
It's a good album cover, I think.
Well, he's also enthralled with the music. He's got it. It looks like he's gonna start spinning it around. Like he was.
Yeah.
He's in mid performance, and it's a great
Yeah.
silhouette shot of him probably on stage.
It reminds
His
me
hair's
of
thrown back, the whole nine.
Reminds me of one of my favorite album covers, T-Rex's Electric Warrior.
Oh yeah, that's a great album.
Where it's just a guitarist with just like
the glowing
really,
amp. Yeah,
it's a simple statement that just evokes the power of rock and roll. Yeah,
absolutely.
I think it's successful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Out of the three,
Absolutely.
it's the best one.
Yeah.
And sadly, it was their last record.
Yeah.
But Ronnie went on to do so much more after.
Absolutely.
Album.
Yeah.
But on the back of the album, they quote one of Ronnie's lines.
Uh-huh.
I'm a fire burning higher, trying to burn the sun.
Yep.
On the back of the album.
Yeah. Icarus.
That's yeah.
Yeah.
But it also says everything about his career.
It does.
From where he was starting.
That's right. Yeah.
He got there.
He did.
He did.
He sure did.
He's an icon now.
Yeah.
God rest his soul.
Yeah.
Like a better way to put it, but we miss you, Ronnie.
That's right. All right, it's time for Gun to the Head.
Gun to the head!
What is your top song on this album, Walt?
Damn it.
Walt hates this segment.
I really do.
Because
I
this
never,
segment.
that's why you came up with it, to torture me, to torment me.
It's worth it. Yeah.
You might as well just poke me with a freaking hot stick.
That could be fun.
There's a joke in there somewhere. I'm torn between Shotgun Boogie and Wonderworld.
Your top?
Yeah.
Your top song.
Top.
Okay.
Top. I'm torn between those two.
Okay. So if you had the gun to your head, which one would you pick?
You know what? I'm going to go Shotgun Boogie.
Shotgun Boogie, really?
Yeah.
Why?
Like I said, it's got that real, for me, it might not be true, but for me, what it reminds me of is that Creole kind of sound.
Okay.
It reminds me a little like King Creole and Elvis and a little bit of that in there for me, for whatever reason. It reminds me of that. And I think that's why it kind of sticks out for me. That I like it. Also, it's Shotgun Boogie. It's a great title.
Yeah. Okay.
It's very, very South.
Yeah.
Very Southern type title.
Okay.
There's so many implications behind that.
Yeah.
That you can interpret on your own or
shotguns and boogies.
And boogie, shotgun boobies. What?
It's something like that. Yeah.
Okay. And you?
For me, it is Wonderworld.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is a great track.
And it's, yeah, I really like the way it's put together.
It is.
I think it's a great statement. I think he really sings it with feeling.
Solid.
There's really a lot going on with that. And
Yeah.
I hate to say it, it does kind of remind me of what Dio becomes later.
Right.
I don't like that kind of sliding my opinion, but it kind of does. Yeah.
Well, like I said, that's why I was torn between the two, to be honest.
Sure. Yeah.
Because of that factor that you just mentioned.
Yeah.
It does sound like that's his first step towards his later evolution.
Exactly.
It really feels like it. Sounds like it.
Yeah. So the other way.
Gun to the head opposite.
Yep.
Once again, I'm torn between two. I'm always torn between two.
So what are you torn between?
I'm torn between Prentice Wood and When She Smiles.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Torn between those two.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go Prentice Wood.
Prentice Wood. Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
It's an odd second track for the album.
Okay.
Black Swampy Water is probably one of my favorite, probably my second favorite on the album.
Okay.
It's a really strong opener.
Okay. Yeah.
But then Prentice Wood comes on, and it sets up the rest of the middle of the album.
Yeah.
Where it goes from 2 to 4 to 6. You know, it kind of sets that up, sets up the sound.
Yeah.
But it's really, really gospel-y. So if I had to lose one with the background singing and what have you,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, I think it's still a strong track.
Sure,
I still like the track.
Yeah.
But I think I would lose that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, Walt, this has never happened before.
Uh-oh.
But my gun to the head down is your gun to the head up.
Oh, yeah?
It's Shotgun Boogie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It just goes too boogie and or woogie for me. And
Too much boogie and woogie for you?
for this album, I would say it goes too far in that direction, and honestly, hands come alive, move from side to side. Yeah.
I mean, the lyrics are
It is
corny.
It is really like the other ones where they're trying this kind of like bluesy, doo-woppy, boogie-woogie thing. They can kind of work. They pull it off.
Mm-hmm.
This one just feels too much like they're trying to do something that they may not be comfortable with.
All
And
right.
I could be wrong. They may have felt completely comfortable.
Right.
But it just feels a little bit outside. So if I had to drop one, I think this is one that I would drop from the album.
That's cool.
For myself, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
We always agree to disagree about this.
Yeah, exactly. But it's the first time that has happened.
That is the first time.
Yeah. It's interesting.
On the ABCs, yeah.
Yeah,
that
because there's
is.
one album where we were in line completely.
There were a couple,
Which one?
I think.
Yeah. That has happened.
You wouldn't know that we did the podcast, but
Yeah, because we can't remember. But
Right.
Yeah. That's okay.
we got drunk while we were doing it.
Yeah, we're drunk now. Yeah,
But
it's interesting.
You know what? It's personal taste.
Exactly. That's what it is.
You know what
That's
I mean?
what it comes
Like I
down
said,
to.
for me,
Yeah.
it reminded me of that so much, of that sound, that's why I liked it. And the fact that it sticks out for me, I like that.
Sure,
So,
which is completely acceptable.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Okay, so the overall assessment of this album.
I really like it. I can't
It is
say
good.
I
Yeah, it
can't
is good.
say it's one of my favorites, to be honest with you. I can't of
No,
Dio's body
No,
work.
but when you spend some time with this album, you really get to appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's really nice to just revisit this portion of his career, like
Yeah.
early on, and to kind of understand where he's coming from.
Well, it's also you're revisiting a point in music history and rock
That too.
history.
Exactly.
Because
Yeah.
this was the sound
Yeah.
of the time. And any rock band worth their salt, they were trying to mess around with this type of sound.
Yep.
And having so many players in the band. I mean, around the 70s, rock bands became like 15-piece bands. We had 15 guys in the group, 15 men and women in a group to get this big sound.
Yeah.
Where it's not being a 4-piece or a 5-piece or what have you, or 3-piece. So there's a lot going on, sound-wise and production-wise on this record.
Yeah.
That can't be ignored. That has to be appreciated.
Exactly. Yeah.
But if you're not a fan of this type of rock, it can be off-putting
Yeah.
for the average listener.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think young person of today would not like this.
No.
If they're not educated in rock music, period, they will
No,
not enjoy
they're
this
not
at all.
gonna- It's just going to be too alienating, too remote to their experience. Yeah.
Yeah, and if they like Ronnie's later stuff, like his solo stuff or the Black Sabbath stuff, they're not
Yeah.
going to get into this at all.
Yeah, can you imagine going from Dream Evil to this?
Yeah.
That'd be a
I
tough
know.
call.
Yeah,
It really would be,
absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. It is a jump. It's a jump backwards. But at the same time, like we just said, this was what was happening at the time.
Yeah.
And I think it's still very important. It's relevant in the sense that it represents what was happening of the day
Exactly. Yeah.
and the musicianship. Because musicians were supposed to be a lot more well-rounded
Yeah.
back then.
And
I mean, Ronnie started, when he started, I think, with Elf or before that, he was singing and playing bass. Now, Ronnie could also play different instruments. A lot of these players can play different instruments. Not just, nowadays you got the guy that plays guitar, the guy that plays bass, the guy that plays drum. That's it. You got the guy that sings, the guy that plays, sings and plays guitar.
Yeah.
These guys could all play each other's instruments and write and all of this and that and the other thing.
Yeah.
So that's what it meant to be a musician from the 20s on into the 60s, 70s, and even the early 80s. I'm not so sure about now, to be honest.
it's a whole
There
other
are some
story.
virtuosos out there still.
Oh, yeah.
There are.
Yeah.
There are some, but it's fewer and far between. These guys could play everything.
Yep.
If you gave Ronnie a guitar, he could play guitar. You gave him a bass, he could play bass. I mean, not to virtuoso standards, because he was a singer, but he can get back there and play. You know what I mean? So it's a whole thing. It's a different type of musician that we're listening to when it comes to delving deep with an album like this.
Yeah, and it's hard to imagine now that we're in a post-Metallica age, but this was hard rock in 75.
No, I know.
It actually really was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were moving towards that thing that we call metal, but they weren't quite there yet.
Yeah.
Many cases, yeah.
Well, like we stated earlier, I mean, even Sabbath started out as a blues band.
Exactly. Yeah.
Zeppelin started out, I mean, with Page with the Yardbirds, and, they were all blues-based.
Yeah. All right, well, I think we've wrapped this up. Now we have to decide because we don't have any more E-bands. In fact, we had to really stretch to get this one. So we're going to move on to F, right?
Yep, moving on to the Fs.
What is up for F? Well,
Faith No More. How about Faith No More?
I'm totally down for Faith No More. And which album are we going to do, Walt?
Well, everybody has The Real Thing.
That's seminal.
That's seminal.
Yeah.
Let's go the album after, Angel Dust.
Do you call that
from the
seminal?
90s? I mean, it had some hit singles on it.
Yeah.
But when I look back now, I don't know if it was that appreciated as much as The Real Thing.
All right.
Because they really kind of made a left turn with some of those songs that are on that record.
Okay, let's do it.
Different sound. If it is seminal, please tell us. Let us know
What
if
else
you
do you
consider.
think is seminal?
Oh, besides The Real Thing, I think it's basically The Real Thing is their most seminal album.
So
which is their second.
If a person had like 3 Faith No More albums, which ones would they have?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I would assume it would be The Real Thing. Maybe We Care a Lot with the different singer, with the original lead singer. Like I said, Real Thing. Possibly Angel Dust. But I don't think a lot of people knew what they were getting into when they bought that album.
Okay.
Because there were some songs on there that Mike Patton and the guys wrote that were not hit singles, that were not radio friendly.
Okay.
So that's why I kind of want to go with that one.
All right. That's what we're going to do next time, Walt. All right. We are Useless Info Inc. doing Anti-Seminal. We'll come back at you with Faith No More, and we are available, as always, on the YouTubes. We're on Twitter. We're on WordPress. You can find us on Google Play and iTunes.
iTunes.
Yes. iTunes.
Google Play.
iTunes.
Wow. Google Play. iTunes. Google Play.
I am Max.
I'm Walt. This was the ABCs of rock and metal. Listen to us. Check us out.
Rock and roll.
Rock and roll!
Cool.